Hello, fourth graders. This is lesson 3 for your geometry workbook. In lesson 1, we covered what tools you needed to complete the packet. And in lesson 2, we talked about lines and line segments and rays and points. So just to review with your packet, we are starting to cover the first learning intention. We covered that in lesson 2, draw points and lines and line segments. And for lesson 3, we are going to work on angles. Please complete this pre-test when you are done with the video today, unless you've already done it. Last time we talked about what is a point, an exact location, what is a line segment, and a ray. Today we're going to talk about angles. So to complete the packet, you need to have a pen to write with, and you need to have some highlighters or markers in different colors. Doesn't matter what color. And of course, you can use a pen or a pencil. So for this page, I can draw and identify angles, right angles, acute angles, and obtuse angles. Starting with a right angle. A right angle measures 90 degrees. A right angle measures 90, and then the degree symbol, which is a little tiny circle. That can be used to indicate temperature, and it can also be used to indicate the measurement of an angle. So a right angle is 90 degrees. So a right angle is like a corner of a book or the corner of our packet, where it's a perfectly straight line both directions. A right angle is like where the floor meets the wall, or the corner of a door, or the corner of a book. So to draw this, you can use your ruler. You don't have to use your ruler, but you can. And in this case, we're not using the ruler to measure anything. We're simply using the ruler as a straight edge. So it helps us to draw straight lines. So I'll draw a straight line up and down and a straight line across. So you can see that an angle is made of two rays. So we put the arrows on the ends, and then we are going to label some of the points. So this is called the vertex, the corner of the angle. And then I'm just going to pick any point on one side of the angle and any point on the other side. And I will call this ABC. So how do we write this in geometry? We make a little angle symbol, and we call it angle ABC. The middle letter is always going to be the vertex of the angle, the corner. Our second type of angle is called an acute angle. Acute angles are less than 90 degrees, and obtuse angles are greater than 90 degrees. I don't know how well you can see this, but sometimes you can look at it with a book. A 90-degree angle shows a book open halfway. An acute angle is a book that is more closed than open. And an obtuse angle is an angle that is more open than closed. More open than closed. So if you can look at it this way, this looks like a 90-degree angle. And then as we get smaller, it could be 80, 70, 60, 50, 40 degrees, 30, 20, 10. Back to a 90-degree angle. An obtuse angle is an angle that's more open. So if we start at 90, this could be 100 degrees, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, all the way to a 180-degree angle. A 180-degree angle is a straight line. Okay, so an acute angle is an acute angle. Now you should be writing this with me in your own packet. If I am going too fast for you, let me just remind you again that you can pause the video, you can rewind, and you can watch it again. An acute angle measures less than 90 degrees. So an acute angle, it's cute. That should help you remember that it's an angle that is smaller than 90 degrees. It's a cute little angle. Okay, you can use your straight edge. You don't have to, you can just draw it. But when we use our ruler as a straight edge, it helps us to make straighter, neater lines. So I'm just trying to draw an angle that is less than 90 degrees and label it with some points. So for the vertex, I'm going to put an E, and on one of the rays, I'm going to put an L, and on the other ray, I'm going to put a Q. It doesn't matter what letters you use. It's just a way for us to identify the angle. So if we were looking at a picture that had a whole bunch of angles in it, we would be able to figure out which angle we were talking about by giving it a name. So if I was going to write it down, you make a little angle symbol. This is angle LEQ. Again, the vertex, the point, always goes in the middle of your name. So we could actually call this angle QEL or angle LEQ. It doesn't matter. The third type of angle is called an obtuse angle. An obtuse angle measures more than 90 degrees. Okay, so if we started with a right angle, anything that is smaller than a right angle is an acute angle. Now we're looking at obtuse angles, and those are angles that are wider, bigger than 90 degrees. So I can take my straight edge and draw one side and then draw the other side. Put arrows on there and then give your angle some letters. So I will do B and J and R. And we would call this angle JBR. Okay, the next thing that you need to do is cut out your flaps for this page. Cut along the dotted lines. Okay, hopefully at that spot you paused your video. You can always pause or rewind and cut these out. And then you can color them. Sometimes I think it's better to color them before you cut. And it doesn't matter what colors you use. Do anything you like. And then you will need your tape to attach these. When we are all done today, please make sure that you clean up your mess just like you would in class. And attach your flaps to the right spots. Remember to put your tape the long way, not up and down. So right angles and obtuse angles and cute little angles. So then when you lift it up, you have your definitions. Notice that little symbol for right angle. That is something that we didn't put on our picture. But when you're looking at a drawing, you can't always tell if it's a perfect right angle. It could be 89 degrees or 91 degrees. So when you're looking at geometry, oftentimes mathematicians will put this little symbol in, and that tells you that is a perfect 90-degree angle. Acute angles, less than 90 degrees, and obtuse angles, greater than 90 degrees. So now we are going to move on to the next page where we get to color. The first one tells us to highlight the right angles. So we are looking for perfect 90-degree angles. So that would be these two angles. And again, remember, it doesn't matter what color you use to highlight. In our second picture, we are looking for acute angles. So we are looking for angles that are smaller than 90 degrees. So that would be this angle, this angle. This looks like a 90-degree angle. This angle right here. And that is all I see. If you are not sure, you can always use a piece of paper to check. These are perfect 90-degree angles. So if I line this up, I can see that this angle is smaller than that. This angle is smaller than 90 degrees. For our third box, we're going to highlight the obtuse angles. So again, I could use a piece of paper. If I'm looking at this angle here, I can see that it is wider or greater than 90 degrees. So these are 90 degrees exactly, right angles. The acute angles are less than 90 degrees, and the obtuse angles are greater than 90 degrees. So that would be this angle. The angle that's opposite this one is the same. So these two angles are obtuse. These two angles are acute. This looks like an obtuse angle to me. So that would mean this one is too. That's opposite. Now it looks like I've highlighted all of them, but I mean these two. This looks like an obtuse angle. This one and this one. Obtuse, obtuse, obtuse. Okay, in this box it says draw a shape with at least one right angle and two acute angles. So I will use my straight edge. And you can make any kind of shape you want, but I'm going to try to create a right angle. And it would actually be very simple here, just to create a triangle, and you would have an acute angle and an acute angle. You need one right angle and two acute angles. So I'm just going to be a little more creative and make a funny shape. Okay, in my shape, for sure, here's a right angle. So remember, you can draw in that little symbol. And there is an acute angle here and an acute angle here. So you could create any shape you want as long as it has one right angle and two acute angles. There's my right angle, my acute angle, and another acute angle. Okay, our next lesson, we will be talking about different kinds of lines. So that is the end of lesson 3. Hopefully posted along with these are some other YouTube videos, a couple of Khan Academy videos too. that go over the different types of lines. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Work hard, and I will see you for our next geometry lesson.